Hello and welcome back to Meenastro. In this video, we'll be discussing about the upcoming solar eclipse and how it will be impacting all the rising signs. So, without further ado, let's get started with my Aries friends. So, for Aries people, this solar eclipse will be highly impacting things related to your house, your mother, and your emotions. Because it's forming on your fourth house, so you might suddenly feel emotional highs and lows due to different circumstances that you must anyway be facing from a really long time. And this eclipse would bring that craving now for uh, gaining that mental stability and peace. So you will suddenly get interested in joining some meditation classes or yoga classes, especially online, that too from the comfort of your home. You can also have clashes with your father on things related to your home or house matters. There's a high possibility that some repair work must be going on in your house, so maybe you can have some confrontations with your father, but you should avoid it at any cost. In fact, your father's health should be something to be taken care of. Also, if you yourself are a heart patient or diabetic, then you should look after yourself and stay away from anything and everything that could potentially trigger these health problems. So yeah, that was all for my Aries rising. Moving on to Taurus. For Taurus people, this solar eclipse would impact your communication, more especially if your profession is related to communication. Especially, it can be both verbal and non-verbal. Any task related to speaking and writing should be performed with precision. It's advisable to refrain from high risk or adventure activities during this period. It's not a great time for that because the eclipse is forming on your third house. So, yeah, avoid any adventure activities. Be mindful to protect your arms and hands from any kind of harm or injury as well. Try to nurture your relationship with your younger siblings to avoid misunderstandings. Have a quality conversation with them and hear them more than speaking to them. Lastly, it will be good if you can postpone your travel plans for the next week at least, and if it's not possible, then I would suggest you to donate some wheat or jaggery to the needy and then leave. Moving on to Gemini. So, for Gemini, the solar eclipse will have an impact over your wealth and savings because it's forming over your second house. You may find your expenses increasing during this time. Also, be mindful of your diet and pay close attention to your food choices and just stick to home cooked meals for a while. This is the time where you could feel distant from your family, so I would suggest you to avoid any kind of ego clashes here with your family members if possible, and try keeping your words minimal, and practice being more reserved in conversations maybe. Another thing is hold off on cosmetic treatments or facial procedures for now, as things may not turn out the way you expect it to be. So, yeah, these were some caution points for Gemini here. Moving on to Cancer. So, for Cancer people, the solar eclipse is on your ascendant itself, which is your first house. So, it calls for an attentive self care here. You can be prone to injury during this time, so pay attention and avoid any kind of risk here. Take extra care of yourself during this time. Also, take precautionary measures to protect your head. Prioritize your father's well being during this eclipse because it's a solar eclipse anyway. Um, and that too, it's getting conjuncted with your um, lord of ninth house. So, yeah, definitely your father's health is something to be paid attention to. um, don't ignore any symptoms or signs that he must be telling you, and just get it treated as soon as possible. You may also feel lethargic in carrying out your daily task here, but remember that it is temporary. So don't keep high expectations from yourself during this time, and give yourself some time to like sit back and reflect, and not initiating new things, but like trying to complete the pending work first. Moving on to the next sign, which is Leo. For Leos, this solar eclipse will impact your sleep and sleep quality because it is happening, it is forming on your 12th house. You might have a disrupted sleep, so refrain from screen use before bedtime, as they say. Expenses are likely to increase, so to help offset these rising costs, consider increasing your charitable contributions. This period brings an opportunity to deepen your spiritual awareness. Changes and letting go of attachments can guide you towards inner transformation. So, if you experience any unfortunate loss here, then try and understand that um, you have to take that loss really spiritually, and maybe this time demands the inner transformation as we discussed before. Frequent hospital visits can also be anticipated, so pay attention to your health, and it may be advised to defer any overseas trips for the time being if possible. Moving on to my Virgo rising people. For Virgos, this solar eclipse is likely to bring significant changes to your friendships and social circle because it is forming over your 11th house. So take a moment to reflect before joining new groups or expanding your social circle, your network. Be mindful of the company you are in. It won't be a bad thing to put some relations into reconsideration during this time. You can witness some fluctuations in your income, so approach financial decisions with prudence and focus on building sustainable sources of income as well. Lastly, maintain good relationships with your elder siblings because you should be in a really understanding manner with them during this time. Otherwise, misunderstandings could rise up like exponentially here. So try solving all the issues between you two. Moving on to Libra. For Libra people, the solar eclipse will be impacting your professional decisions. Why? Because it is forming over your 10th house, and conversations with supervisors may feel more kind of charged than usual. So aim for clarity and composure rather than developing some argumentative tendencies with them. Pay attention to your father's health and don't avoid any symptoms if you see. Get it treated ASAP. Be mindful of how you are perceived in professional and public spaces. Avoid taking any professional decision in the heat of the moment. You know, your emotions could become the center of any big decision making, so try avoiding that. um, Give yourself space to respond thoughtfully rather than emotionally, I would say, especially when we talk about your workplace here. Moving on to Scorpio. For Scorpio people, this solar eclipse is impacting your fortune because it is forming over your ninth house, and in a way that you can't really, sit back and really rely on your fortune and luck, because this is the time that hard work can be the only key to success here for you. You may notice a tendency toward heated discussions with mentors or teachers, so keep it grounded and also make an effort to see their perspective and try to understand where they are coming from. Stay connected to your spiritual practices and belief system and let them guide you, because this will be the only saving grace during this time. Moving on to Sagittarius. For Sagittarius people, this solar eclipse can trigger some sudden changes that can be unplanned and unthinkable. So plan ahead and be mentally prepared because it's your 8th house here coming under eclipse. If you're a research student, you might need to put in extra time and effort, and it might not be as easy as it seems right now. So stay focused, consistent, and patient with the process. This period may spark an interest in astrology or other spiritual or mystical fields of learning. So explore your curiosity, but choose your resources wisely. I would also suggest you to be mindful of your relationship with your in laws and try to maintain harmony with them. Situations involving inheritance or shared assets can shift unexpectedly. So I think try to maybe stay cautious and handle the situation with careful consideration, and do not expect much here. Moving on to Capricorn. For Capricorns, this eclipse would make your reputation come under closer scrutiny this time because it's your seventh house. And so be mindful of your actions or how they may be perceived by others, and act with integrity, because this will be the call of during this time. This may not be the most favorable time for new business partnerships. Focus may not be the on the business partnerships, but it should be more on careful planning and review all the details carefully in your business. And if you're married, make a conscious effort to understand your partner's perspective and avoid unnecessary conflicts with them. Also, it's very necessary to refrain from bringing any past issues because that could trigger arguments and take it to like another level, and it won't be good for your married life then. So yeah, these are some precautionary measures that you can follow and avoid any kind of future arguments. Moving on to Aquarius. For Aquarius, the solar eclipse highlights the importance of steady routines, regular sleeps, consistent meal times, and realistic schedules, because you see, it's your eighth house getting under eclipse. So yeah, those are the basics that keep you stay grounded also, when other things feel unsettled. These are the things that can give you some amount of peace at least. Pay close attention to your pet's well-being. If you have a pet, then take care of their health and don't ignore any warning signs that could come up. Treat them whenever needed. Also, avoid initiating any loan applications during this time because uh, there could be something hidden from you, so not favorable. There can be a rise in hidden enemies also, so I would suggest to not to disclose things before its completion maybe. So try completing the things and then maybe talk about it to others, not before that. And moving on to our last sign, which is Pisces. So for Pisces, this eclipse is actually taking place in your fifth house, and this eclipse can spark some digestive issues. So prioritize balanced meals and don't ignore warning signs. Avoid eating outside and rely on home cooked meals. Maintain regular meal times and avoid skipping meals, especially if you're like prone to acidity because Sun is present in your fifth house. So yeah, the conditions of or tendency of getting acidic stomach is more here. So more attention and focus should be given to your studies also here. And finally, you should avoid overthinking strictly and stay connected spiritually. Chant mantras because it's a good time for that. So yeah, I hope this video has helped each and every rising sign to know what to avoid and where to put your energy in. What can be the symptoms that could help you in advance to actually ignore the problem in a big manner. So yeah, taking these small steps, being aware, helps you to avoid the bigger problems. And I hope this video has helped you. And also there will be the written insights on my websites about the eclipse and how it's going to impact you in a more detailed manner. If you want to visit the website, it's meenastro.com, and definitely visit and read your insights there too. And if you want personalized consultations, then I'd be more than happy to serve you. You can get the details from the website and the link will be in the description. Thank you for watching the video and staying with me till now, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.